We're here in Tbilisi, Georgia, and today I'm not just going to tell you about some small investments that I made years ago. We're going to go out and show you how I have paper profits of thousands of percent with investments I made with barely $1,000 back in the day. And I'm going to tell you what opportunities still exist. Plus, we're going to show you an actual Georgian Supra. I'm here hosting a team dinner. Stick with us. So we're here with the CFO, Rusudan, who has all the prices, all the details, all the appraisals. So I've invested all over Georgia over the years, but people often ask, what is there for me, the person who just wants to dip a toe in, maybe I don't have a lot of money. What I'm going to show you today are different properties that I've spent as little as $1,500 on. What I thought was interesting here was I bought property that was in the path of development. It's interesting to see how prices really have dramatically increased. In Georgia, I've always found that people set the price, and it's up to you to figure out whether that price is reasonable or not. Well, there's two things you should consider when you're looking at some kind of emerging country like a Georgia. You want to find places that have some room for improvement, and I can tell you, not in every way, but in a number of ways, things here have improved. Certainly people are wealthier. People here are living the American dream. Since I first came here, Georgia's passport, got visa-free access to the Schengen area in Europe, recently got access to Russia, China, UAE, Saudi Arabia, decent visa-free travel to South America, increasingly to Asia. The area we're going to is called Didi Lilo. It is very close to the Lilo Mall, but it's also very close to the Tbilisi airport. And I think at the time when I bought this, Tbilisi airport had 4 gates. Lo and behold, you have had since then, I think well over 1,000% growth in tourism from Middle Eastern countries. So like Saudis are like 12 or 13-fold in the last 8 years. You've got a lot of flights, which has actually made life easier for living here.
Last year, this was $37,000. It's $26 per square meter when it was 2.
So this is not the biggest return on a percentage basis?
No.
From $2 to $26, they said?
Yes, it's 13 times more expensive than it was when you bought it.
Now people are going to say, oh, you could have bought Bitcoin in 2016, you would have done better.
Yes.
We were taking Bitcoin for the very first ever event we did in 2014. You can do both, because buying Bitcoin does not get you potentially a residence permit or a path to citizenship or a tax-friendly thing. You want to do this stuff, you want to do a couple different things.
Yes, and land is a very good way to diversify your assets, so we can go check.
Let's take a look. Up there is the end.
Yes, I would say 1/3 is flat here, and you can actually build without further work. You can build behind that too if you take a bit more work and flatten it out, but yeah.
You could build 1,400 square meters of property, 5 floors up?
5 floors up, yeah.
That's like 15,000 square feet for the Americans on 5 floors. So you could, I mean, there's probably not a big demand for apartments out here, but you could build something substantial.
Something substantial. I would go with commercial rather than residential.
What would commercial be out here? Because obviously it's not like there's so much around right now.
It's not, but you have a big Lilo, you mentioned the marketplace there, and you have lots of factories, so maybe some kind of a supportive facility for those facilities there, for those factories. So.
But we said as we pulled in, none of this new construction, none of these homes were here 5 years ago, certainly not 8 years ago.
Yeah,
so
nothing
people
like
are building
that.
Out here.
They are. Like, I think when you're building as a first comer, it takes a bit more. But right now, you see lots of construction around here.
I remember my builder complaining it takes him like a month to get an approval for like stuff. I'm like, if you were in California, this is like a decade or something. It's not so bad.
Lots of places, lots of land plots here are agricultural. So it means that you can have any kind of like fruit, vegetables, like things like that. You can actually cultivate things there.
So you could live in Tbilisi city center. You could take advantage of the 0% or the 1% tax regime for tax residents. And then you could have a piece of land like this, and you could grow your vegetables, and you could have your own food facility very close.
Very close, yes. 30-minute drive and you have fresh air and you just can spend the weekend here or something. The land rights are pretty strong. You just need to document it well, especially with the land. But everything is really well registered with the public hall, so as long as you follow the procedure, you are pretty much covered with the rights.
I think for the last decade, Georgia was recording property titles on the blockchain.
We have, yes, we have. So everything is recorded there and it's all very easily accessible. It's public registry with the registry hall. So if you're checking out to get some land, you can easily see the whole history of what was happening with the ownership. Is there any approval for the building? So it's a really easy thing to go around and have due diligence done, even yourself without a lawyer. But I always recommend working with the lawyer because there is
someone like Lika, yeah.
Yeah. Here you can see all the new constructions and some factories that were not here 5-8 years ago. So this side, pretty much further down, all across the Aheti Highway.
We're gonna head out to the next piece of land in Tbilisi's suburbs where people love to spend their summers. Temperatures are cooler, a lot of Georgians are building up there, and the price gains are even better than here. This is a place that a lot of Georgians like to go in the summer, and they can commute. The husband or the wife can commute down to work, and the rest of the family stays up and enjoys the fresh air. A lot of Tbilisians have a second home either in their village, or they'll buy this land in the suburbs or somewhere like in Bakuriani, and they'll build a summer home or winter home.
One thing about Tbilisi is that there is no city plan or something, so you can basically do anything in these neighborhoods. Of course, not in the center, you cannot change anything outside, but...
I think President Saakashvili, who spoke at Nomad Capitalist Live in 2021, designated almost all the houses in the city center as UNESCO to get the World Heritage Site designation. And so now you can't touch those facades. But outside of that, there's really not many building rules in this city. There's one piece of land that we're not going to show you, and that is a couple hours out on one of the main east-west highways, just outside of Borjomi. We love to drink Borjomi water here. It's an acquired taste, but it's water from a natural spring. It's a little intense if you're first coming here, but they say it cures hangovers and all sorts of ailments. That's the folklore. And out in the town of Borjomi, I bought land, 1,301 square meters for $1,650, so $1.25 a meter, also back in 2016. It's right off the main road, right on the river. That's the piece of land I will not sell. We are now heading up the hills to one of the first Tbilisi suburbs, Tamakmele. This is not a suburb like in the United States where they have shopping malls and people are hanging out. This is a little bit more rural, but it's a place where people go in the summer. And land prices have gone crazy there, but we're going to be high atop the city, so the views are incredible. The temperatures are cooler in the summer. The air is much cleaner. People want to live there. And later tonight, we're going to show you a traditional Georgian supra. This is what they have for weddings, for birthdays, for all sorts of celebrations. We're taking some of my colleagues out for dinner, high atop the city with some of the best views. We're going to show you that later. But first, some land that has appreciated far more than the one we just saw by the airport. We are in between these beautiful vistas of Tbilisi city center and this reservoir. I remember coming up here 8 years ago and just sitting on what I think was my land, who knows, you'll tell us, and just looking down here. We were not on the list for power 8 years ago when we bought it. That's why it cost $1 a meter. And they said, you'll be on the list. And then we got on the list, and do we have electricity now?
There is electricity, so you can get a new account set up with that, so you could get electricity.
Getting utilities here is not hard.
It's not hard, you just have to apply. It costs a fixed sum, pretty much. Is it for a residential building or commercial building, and it's really straightforward.
This is not like doing something in the US where it takes years and it costs a fortune.
No, not like that.
So how far are we now from the main village where everybody has their summer homes?
I would say 3 minutes drive.
And down there's also a lot of homes. It's flatter.
It is flatter. So you have Kumisi, like a village on that near that reservoir or the lake, as we call it. And you have lots of other settlements there. This is a bit high up here, and you have a nice view and better air for sure, fresher and cooler.
So fresh you can smell the cows.
Yes, you can see the food chain pretty much.
Why did I wear Ferragamo to come up? You too.
Yes.
And the Georgian tradition is you build a wall around your land and you plant one tree.
Yes. There's a saying that if you have planted a tree and you've built a house, you have accomplished things in life. This is probably like natural water.
One thing I think is important is you want to live in a place with a lot of water. And so if you can be in a small country and you can have wide open space and you have water rights, you're saying you can use the water.
Yes.
And you can potentially get residence or you can work towards citizenship. I mean, if you do all that together, especially if you pay $1 a meter, you've got a nice little plan B, C, D, or even plan A at some point. When I first came here years ago, I said all my friends in the US who complain their kids just live on the computer all summer long, this seems like a place where you open the back door, the kids go out and they play with bugs, and this is organic living like it used to be.
Yes, you can do some gardening here as well.
This is the land, and so this was the best performing piece of land that I bought in 2016. We bought this, it's 1,501 square meters, so that's almost 2/5 of an acre. We paid 99.9 cents, $1,500 for the land. We did an appraisal. We're here above Tbilisi. What's the situation?
As of last year, this now costs $87,000. So that's
Chihuahua.
And so less than $1 investment per square meter now turned into $57 per square meter.
It's a 57
times.
Yeah. And so that's because in the main village, it's easily $100?
It is.
Or more?
Maybe even more. And plus, the thing is now the village has grown, so you don't have that many supply of the land. So that's why they are branching out to nearby lands.
So this is a play in the emerging middle class, lawyers, doctors, all the people that we know locally, maybe some people in our company, they have a summer home. They can afford to do that. And maybe they take their time building on the land. Maybe they build it themselves in some cases. But you have people who have more money. There's a growth of credit since I've come here in terms of construction loans.
Yes, a lot.
And so people can get a mortgage to build out here from $1 on a bank foreclosure to $57 a meter, 5,600% return in 8 years. The demand up here is the domestic market.
It is. It's mostly going to be like Georgians trying to get a second home from Tbilisi or something like that.
Georgian families, they have a couple of kids. They come up here and spend the summer.
Yes, and you can commute to the city for work.
No commercial, no industrial up here, and why would you want to? I mean, you can hear nature. You can smell nature. So those are 3 pieces of land that I bought right here in Georgia less than a decade ago. Anybody could have paid the prices that I paid. And you're seeing that a growing middle class, an emerging country, you can see pretty substantial gains. In some cases, you can get a residence permit or other benefits in the country. And obviously land does take longer to sell. Somebody offered us 60 cents on the appraisal value for one of them. So obviously these numbers can be different, but whether it's 3,000% or 5,000%, this is what happens when a country is growing, and anybody can get involved at some of these prices. Now we're gonna head down the hill to our Georgian Supra. We're gonna give the 12 Georgian toasts. You're gonna get to be part of a very special dinner, and we're gonna see some great views on the way down. I assure you my rule will be firm but fair, and I'd like to toast to Tavi Supleba. Gamor Jos. All right, I'm going to teach everyone how to eat a khinkali. You grab it by the stem, shake a little pepper, not salt, we're not Armenians. You bite into it. It's a soup dumpling. You a little bite. And then you drink the soup. Is that about right?
Yes.
We've got a lot of plans for more great videos, for hiring more great people, for expanding in more ways. Thank you to everyone for being part of another great year of success, and for many more to come. Let's cheers to all of our dreams and our ambitions. Gamar Jos.